Anyway, enough of this UK guysness. It's time for some of what I actually deal in, which is actual electrical content. I don't know why it won't zoom in. Oh, for fuck's sake! I'll just show you where I am at a place called Matching Green. There's actually a proper green. It's like it reminds me of Dad's Armlock. There's a little village hall, a little pub, the green, a cricket pitch. It's very beautiful. Unfortunately, there's nowhere to stop around here on the green, which would be good because I'd just go and get a bag of cans and sit on there and get around with the locals. But I do quite like coming down here because it is just very nice. The only problem with it is probably fucking full of cunt from London, you know how it is. Or Essex, because that's where I am. Anyway, now finished with breakfast, we'll go to the site. I've been reported, because you've got to triage these faults. You've got to ask them what's going on. There's no point someone ringing up and going, it's broken. And you go, all right, I'll come and have a look. And you get down there and someone don't plug the fucking toaster in, yeah? You've got to triage it. You've got to go, what's gone off? What happened? When did it happen? How did it happen? Was there any smells? I got out the guys, pretty switched on. 3 overloads on 3 different motors on an engine. You have a low pressure water pump, and high pressure water pump, and some other fucking pump. I don't fucking know. It's engine shit, but he says all 3 of them are tripped. I'm like, that sounds dodgy. That sounds to me like what could cause 3 overloads to trip. 3 overloads, unlikely. What common thing would cause 3 overloads to trip? Probably voltage, phase loss. Up to man, and on one of the inverters it said phase loss. So I've got a pretty good idea. I'm going to deal with a phase loss. Hopefully, I'll do a bit of preemptive on this one so you can guess. Hopefully, it's a fuse. Yeah, apparently the power went off and when it came back on, there was a phase loss. Or we think there was a phase loss by what I've gathered, yeah. That's good because it makes it cut and dry. The power getting lost and coming back on could cause a phase loss. However, if I need a fuse around here, I think I might be able to get them near Harlow. I think there's probably going to be a couple of wholesalers down there I'll be able to get them from. Hopefully, it's not some fucking LV breaker that I'm going to have to fucking hunt down, or is on 11 weeks lead time like everything else is nowadays. But that's my thoughts of the day. I'm going to drive off to the site now because my van's getting covered with bees, because I think I've hit a bee on the way here and the bees now have killed a bee and now they're trying to attack me. Right then, update. I'll go in this room with this noisy fan, yeah? So, I hate to spoil it for you, but these posts are stage managed, yeah? I don't get it and start recording what's going off like I'm really doing it, when I'm really doing it, because that'd be fucking dangerous. I normally get here, work out what's going off, and then I've basically lied to you with making it into a story, because I don't know if you're aware, but TV's not real. So it's nowhere near what I thought it was. We have sort of lost the phase, but we're still not sure why. But I'm just going to show you, because it's not fair not to show you, because I've stopped what I'm doing and I want you to see why. Save for September and all that bollocks, yeah? So let's just go over what I found when I got here without going anything, because I've took all my gear off now. I'm not going to start going into the big breaker, but I'll show you what's going on, because you've got to know when to fucking stop. There's 3 engines on this side, and this one, look, this is the voltage on the main side. So on the main side I've got 197 volts, 205 volts and 401 volts, yeah? And there's a graph there, look, showing that basically L2 I think is low. So L1, L2, L3, and I was like, whoa, what's going off here? Like, this is a bit fucking wee-wah, this is. So that's an LV engine, which is why it's got 400 volts. Well, it should have 400 volts in each phase, but it hasn't. Sorry. Well, that's why it's showing 232 volts, L1, 100 for L2, and 232 for L3. So there's something wrong on L2 on that low voltage supply there, which is from a transformer. This is an HV set. On the LV, on the HV side of this engine, I've got the 6 volts of that. That's 11 kV, 6,600. That's the individual line phase, yeah? So I've got what I'm expecting there, and they're all equal. So that's good. This is just another thing. This is the 3rd engine. Again, it's HV. Got what I'd expect, look, 666, yeah? L1 to L2, 11,000. L2 to L3, 11,000. L3 to L4, 11,000. That's all right, yeah? They're all good. So the 2 HV engines are good. So the site HV appears to be healthy, but this LV set is fed from that breaker. That transformer, I'm assuming, because I can't test it, has got the right HV going to it, because the HV is up in the site. But between that transformer, that breaker, what's called a sync breaker in there, and that controller, I am losing 100 and... Well, I've just got some mad voltages. So again, I'll show you on here what I've got here. Remember, it's an LV set, yeah, I've got 197, 205 and 401. That's actually gone up a little bit. And then up here, look, you can see that graphically shows this phase to earth, phase to neutral thing. So there's something wrong. And there's probably still something wrong, because I'm in a service station at the A1, because I fucked it off. That's what happened. So yeah, if you're going for an update, I fucked it off. Couldn't trust the instruments. There's a few little historical things on that site that I need to find out of certain people. I didn't have any backup electrically, which I started to get. I don't mind that, but in this particular situation, I sort of want someone to turn around to me and go, am I getting this right? Are we doing this right? You know what I mean? I don't want to share the blame. I want to discuss what's happening with another electrical engineer type person, because I just had no backup. It's fucking roasting hot. Yeah, absolutely boiling. It's a bit of a mishmash. I'm getting different reports and stuff. So I've just fucked it off. I'm going to come away, think about it, speak to people, and go back. One of the things the problem is the instrumentation. It was very difficult to get test instruments. I could get to the main switch with a voltmeter, but then in the other panel where the sync breaker was and the fuses were for the reference voltage and all that kind of thing, and the main incomer was coming off the LV transformer, and then it went on tails to the LV breaker side of the transformer. I couldn't get to any of that with test gear. It's not safe. And I didn't trust the instrumentation that was on the gear giving me the right things. I think it was, but I couldn't make it make any sense. The way to rule out that doubt was to use my own instruments, my test gear, but I couldn't get it in there safely. So yeah, I've just fucked it off. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get an HV engineer down there, HV sap down there, get an HV isolation so it's all fucking dead. I'm going to operate all the breakers, ACBs and fuses and test them all dry, as in not live, see if they function. I've got a sneak suspicion one might be stuck, have a face stuck in. You know, while I start talking, I just let a master after discos, hang on. Yeah, the instrumentation that was fitted, I didn't trust. Well, yeah, this is the prime example of it. I sort of trusted what it was saying, but I didn't know why I was getting it. So I don't trust the readings, I don't trust what I'm getting. So I just fucked it off. Safe thing to do. It's hot, I'm confused. So the fucking engine's not going to run tonight or for the weekend. We're probably going to lose some money on that. Not as much money as we lose if I fucking turn it to a motor and cast it up. There's a little bit of history behind that comment, but I'm not going into it. But yeah, I've just fucked it off because I want to go back with someone to help me out so we can work together and I can have a think about it. Yeah, it's not I'm not embarrassed to walk away. I couldn't give a fuck. I'd rather do that than get sacked for smashing up an engine with electricity. So yeah, hang on for part 2. This goes on. Basically, in case I don't get this yet, here's a simple thing about it, right? You can land an aeroplane in fog and in the dark with no lights on the ground because the pilots have 100% trust in their instrumentation. They know the distance they are from the ground, the speed they are going forward, the speed they are going down, the yaw and the pitch of their plane. So they have 100% trust in their instruments. If they don't have that trust in their instruments, they don't land a plane in the fucking dark. Quite rightly so. So if I don't trust my instruments, I ain't got to fucking start wading in there like some fucking Billy Big Balls, trying to look clever. I'd rather just fuck it off, which I have done. The instrumentation on those engines, on the generators, is G99 compliant. So it's not like fucking slapdash Chinese shite. It's approved, rated, branded, good gear. And that instrument was telling me I had fucking 202 volts on one, 100 volts on the other, and 400 volts on the other, yeah? The simple fact is, on 11,000 volt gear, she has 6.6 volts per phase to earth or to earth, yeah? She have a UO, is it, of 6,600 volts. Between phases, 11,000 volts. On 3 phases, she have 400 volts with about 230 UO. Burp, UO. And on, you know what I mean? And I know what I want, and I weren't getting it. I don't know why I weren't getting it, so I fucked it off. Because I sort of trust the instruments, and I sort of trust what I'm getting, and I know that both of them are a bit fucking wee-wah, woo-wah. So yeah, I'll come back to you, and I'll fill this story in when I work out what the fuck's going on myself. It's probably Monday now.
2 weeks later.
I thought I was meant to call off today. Anyhow, I'm back on that job last week where I got so confused that I just gave up. Got an HV sap here, someone to buy side ears off, and we just noticed something. So I'll keep you filled in if you're following this fucking... I mean, it's bigger than EastEnders, but notice that one of the fuses, which I'll show a picture of when it's been isolated, has got signs of corrosion on it. Don't know why, 'cause it's a heat container. So stand by for that one. But yeah, it's good to come up with a set of fresh eyes and work out what the fuck's going on. Might miss something dead stupid, but I'm not dead. So that's good, because it can go both ways, can't it? Right then, here's what happened. So the reason I got a sap here is because I suspected the breaker that's in there might have been jammed in on the phase. It turns out it wasn't. So the reason I got a sap here is because I suspected the breaker that's in there might have been jammed in on the phase. It turns out it wasn't. So the reason I got a sap here is because I suspected the breaker that's in there might have been jammed in on the phase. It turns out it wasn't. So the reason I got a sap here is because I suspected the breaker that's in there might have been jammed in on the phase. It turns out it wasn't. So the reason I got a sap here is because I suspected the breaker that's in there might have been jammed in on the phase. It turns out it wasn't. So the reason I got a sap here is because I suspected the breaker that's in there might have been jammed in on the phase. It turns out it wasn't. So the reason I got a sap here is because I suspected the breaker that's in there might have been jammed in on the phase. It turns out it wasn't. So the reason I got a sap here is because I suspected the breaker that's in there might have been jammed in on the phase. It turns out it wasn't. So the reason I got a sap here is because I suspected the bre If it was, I would have to do an isolation back over there at the substation. However, it wasn't, but it was nice to have a second person there just to help me out. Also, he checked all that, because that's HV stuff, and ensured that that was safe to operate, which he then did. Been isolated now, so I've got a lock in it lock. Oh yeah. And then, as I suspected in the fuse look, I found this. That's all burnt out. That black goo is the remnants of this, I think, in there. I'm pointing again. It's off. Stop pointing. That is the remnants of that, and then all that. You can see those two smaller cables have just been wrapped around there and just bodged from the beginning. Also, those two smaller cables are rated at 100 amps now, so that's what it was. That was causing the voltage drop. I don't know how that resistance caused the voltage drop on the measurements, but... Excuse the quality of this video. I'm trying to prove a point that I just said in that video. I was saying, I don't know why it's got hot, when I absolutely do. It's because when you have resistance, you produce heat and you get different voltages. I'm demonstrating that here. So there's 24 volts on these crocodile clips, look. They're fed from a bench power supply. And now I've got 24 volt negative here and 24 volt positive here. And the positive is going for a 100k resistor. You'll see the LED is very, very dimly lit. I've done that for a reason, because I've just put a high resistance in. Now I've got to try and show you what the situation is with these voltages, so let me try and do that. You're propped on a milk crate because I've got no grip at home. Grip's what you use to hold the cameras and stuff like that, yeah, tripod and stuff. So, we've got 24 volts going to this LED for a resistor. Well, if we measure the actual voltage, get the polarity right for a start, you can see that going into the system, there is, it's on ohms, going in, what the fuck is that about? Here we go, going in there, look, 24 volts going in, but the voltage at the LED, the LED is getting, is 2.4 volts. And if you go across the resistor, you can see we're losing 21 volts across the resistor, and that 24 volts, that 21 volts is being lost as heat through this resistor as resistance. So when you have resistance, it affects the voltage. So the bad connection that starts off as 24, but it goes through a bad connection, which is this resistor, and it ends up being at the LED 2.4, and then over the LED I'm losing 21. So obviously the restriction, which is the resistor, produces heat, which is why my fuse is melted. And I've really struggled to do that because I've forgotten this bit of footage. My missus in the shower working in the board in the background, and I've had to bodge this together because we're soldering irons on another site and I've got nothing on my camera. So do that experiment at home. It's interesting. Do it with the battery. The resistor loses voltage across it. I'm really sorry that's such a slapdash example. I'm on a job at Forest, I'm on a job at County, sorry. My soldering iron's somewhere else, all my test gear's somewhere else, my grip's somewhere else, and it's time to go down to the office, and I really want to put this video out on Saturday, but I've got nothing in the bank. I've got about 6 videos I'm working on that are almost all there, and none of them are over the line, and this is the easiest one to finish. But my missus is going to shower and put the boiler on, which hasn't got the cover on as well because I've been fucking around with it. Danger, danger. It's one of them things that just throws me every time when resistance does that. And I suspect this cable's damaged quite far back, so that's all going to need to come out. They're going to put into new fuses. Them smaller cables are going to be put into new fuses, and that's all going to be distributed. So I'm not sure I'm going to progress with that yet, but yeah, that's what it was. And the reason I never pulled this is because I suspected that it was in some sort of condition like this. I didn't want to pull this and cause a problem that I don't know. That popped out there and hit that metal. So yeah, I didn't pull that because I thought it was knackered, which it turns out it was. And obviously, with that being knackered in there, pointing again, I ain't got screwed off, fuck it. I know it's off. I've done the isolation, but yeah, if that had been damaged, and as I pulled it out of there, that cable had popped out and arced onto that, I'd have got 100 amps worth of fucking flash over there, maybe 4,000 amps of flash over, at a very high potential short circuit value. So yeah, it was that simple, but it weren't that simple looking at it because I couldn't pull anything out to check it. And I'm just happy that I got it isolated, all in here is isolated, so I could work on this safely and have a look at what problem was going off. How we rectify this is TBC, but there's obviously going to be heat damage along this cable now, so that might need to be cut down and done in. So it needs some digging. I'm just waiting for someone to come back to me. It's not my job to do that as yet. I don't start cutting it apart. All right, but yeah, it's a funny one. Burnt out terminal's always a problem, and that's what it was. This is actually old footage. I'm going through some stuff that I haven't used just to, because all the footage I've saved tells a story, so I'm doing that.
This actual fault was rectified in another video on YouTube by Corey at OY Electrical. He was on the firm I work for's books, and it just happened that he came in to rectify it, and the video link is here, or the video is here. So go and search his channel, and you can see how this got fixed by him. I just sort of walked around eating chips and didn't do anything because I don't pay people to do work then do it myself. So yeah, if you want to see how this ended, go and have a look there. But the bit I want to get across is in this video. See you later, you alligator.
Real bad man.